The Bank of Canada announced today it's going to keep the key interest rate unchanged at 2.75%. So it's been there since March. Let's bring in Ron Butler on this. He's principal broker at Butler Mortgage. Thanks for coming in.
My pleasure, Maria.
I know people were hoping perhaps for a rate cut. It was unlikely we were going to get that today. But what do you think of the hold, and what are you hearing from people who are kind of waiting perhaps to buy a home, hoping that they will see a cut before the end of the year?
There is a relative chance of a cut by the end of the year. It's not the balance of probabilities, but it's a strong chance. The Premier Ford was shocked today that the Bank of Canada didn't cut, although everybody else in Canada knew that it wasn't going to be a cut. So what it is disappointing for people who have renewals, who have HELOCs, who have home equity lines of credit. They get no relief, and sure, that's a disappointment. It has some impact on fixed rates. We've seen fixed rates go up in the last 3 weeks. Not a direct impact, but certainly an impact nonetheless. So yeah, harder for people to buy a home because those rates, all rates essentially are either on hold or up.
We're seeing a lot of stalling in the market itself as a result. It hasn't been the kind of season that historically real estate agents would see. Do you think that will carry on into the fall now that we have no change in the rate cut?
So we had a little bump in activity in June and July on the resale side, which was probably a result of lower fixed rates, let's say 3.79, 3.89, 5-year fixed during the course of that little bump in sales that we experienced. Now those rates are all up again. It's possible we'll see it cool off again in the fall.
A lot of people are renewing mortgages. You touched on that. We know that there's a struggle because they might have had a really low rate, many years ago, and now they're going to have to adjust to a new and much higher rate. Are people talking to you about that? Is that a significant problem for them?
It's the endless discussion we talk about in our business every day, because customers are all typically in the same boat. They have had a 5-year mortgage that's coming up for renewal. It was a 2-point-something rate. It was a 1.99 rate. It was a terrific rate. Gone forever, maybe forever, never say never, but the reality is it's 4 something. They're being offered 4-point-something today. And it's a big change for those borrowers, big change.
And is it a struggle for them? Obviously they've had enough heads up that this was coming, but maybe hoping for, as you mentioned, a rate change. But are you still seeing the struggle? Are people having to consider ways to either save money or considering even selling their homes? So
some people have been fortunate. During the course of the 5 years, they've had income increases because it has been 5 years. I think circumstances could change. But for a lot of people, it's this total unaffordability. It's 8% higher car insurance. It's 10% higher house insurance. It's this now, higher grocery prices, you name it. It's general unaffordability, which just damps down their ability to live easily. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing it all the time.
What are you saying to buyers?
To buyers, we caution them because there is a chance that there will be lower prices in the near term. So you have to be wary of that. For those people who really want to buy, yeah, we can get them a decent rate. Like a 4% rate, a 4.19% rate is not a terrible rate, not in terms of historical rates. But it's something where they've got to be so cautious about affordability because, as Jeff Macklin said this morning, he's uncertain about where inflation is going to go. And that's a problem for everybody. What
are you telling sellers? Because a lot of them are having their homes sit, especially if they're in the condo market.
You absolutely must adjust your price. I mean, there's going to be no tremendous expansion of purchasing power for buyers. Buyers are not going to suddenly see 2% interest rates. That's just not happening. Not now, not in the fall, probably not in the spring. So if that's not a possibility, adjust your price, sell the unit, take whatever hit you need to sell you need to take the hit, because you're not going to get a better deal anytime soon.
What kind of adjustments are you seeing when somebody comes onto the market and we know things have changed? Are they already sort of putting themselves in the right range, or are they wanting a little bit more than the market can take right now? And how much are they adjusting down that you've seen?
Okay, that is the real crisis here. We have a huge number of people, the majority of sellers, don't want to take the reduction they need to take. And that's why it's sitting. They just are not willing to drop that price. They have visions of 2021 and 2022 in their head, and they won't drop the price, and the property just sits.
So percentage-wise, how much would you say of a drop is necessary for the average home?
Well, unfortunately, we've already seen about a 18 to 20% drop
Wow.
for the distant 905. Like
Okay.
Central 416 is solid, probably just down 3 or 4%. But for those distant areas, when
18%?
oh yeah, absolutely. From the height, from March
yeah.
2022, if you go to 905, far reaches to 905, they're down 18% already. And they'll come down some more. I mean, it would not surprise me if we see a 30% drop by next year.
What are you hearing from them?
Oh, it's not a huge number. Like we think about that number of people who bought in 2020 and 2021. It's a big number, but it's not a vast number. I mean, 50% of Canadians have no mortgage. So they can drop the price if they need to. But those people who are stuck with big mortgages, they have a tremendous problem. And it's hard to know how to help them.
It's hard to make that mental jump, though, right? When you see your neighbor's property selling a couple of years ago at this price, and then 18 months later you're trying to sell, and it's dramatically different.
You hit the nail on the head. I mean, we constantly hear about, well, wait a second, just last year down the street they sold for X. X is gone. X isn't coming back.
Yeah.